All right, I'm your host, Christian Keaton. We're going to get started with our NFC predictions part 2 with the NFC South and NFC West. Matthew, just start.
For the NFC South, I got first, New Orleans Saints 11-5, 2, Atlanta Falcons 10-6, 3, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6-10, 4, Carolina Panthers 3.
I disagree with you on two things. Now, I agree with you on New Orleans Saints. I think they're going to go 12-4 in the division. I think they're going to be the 2 seed in the NFC. They'll have a first round bye. But you got Atlanta Falcons at number 2. Are you kidding me? There's no way on earth they're going to be number 2 in the division because they lost Jimmy Graham, who's just retired. He may come out of retirement, maybe. I mean, last year they lost Julio Jones for the season because of his Achilles on his foot. I just think they have too many holes to fill on their defense and their offense. I mean, Matt Ryan. No, I'm good. I'm so happy he got his money. He got signed a 5-year deal last season. He got his money. He's a great quarterback with a lot of respect for him. But I just think they have too many holes to fill. Not making the playoffs last year, going from the NFC Championship game back to the 2012 season to 2-14 last year. I just think it's going to be hard for me to even put them in this conversation right now.
So, Matthew, you give me a little bit of reason why you have Atlanta at 2. So give me a little bit more.
Well, because even though they lost a few people, they could, from the draft, they could have brought more people that could be better equipped for defense and offense, and they could probably get Matt Ryan back into shape for bringing him up into the standings and getting into the playoffs.
So, Keaton, who else? Do you agree with the rest of his picks, or do you have more to disagree on?
You had Carolina number 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with you on that. Let me tell you my picks. I have New Orleans Saints, number 1 in the division, going 12-4. I have Carolina number 2, going 8-8. I have Tampa Bay, also going 8-8, beating 3rd in the division. I have Atlanta going 7-9, being 4th in the division. Now, the reason I don't agree with you on Carolina being 4th in the division is because last year, they were number 2 seed. They went 12-4 last year. They were home against San Francisco 49ers, a home game. It was on Fox, 1 o'clock Eastern time. I remember because I watched the game. That was when Patriots played the next day against the Indianapolis Colts. But Carolina didn't really have the experience of going to the playoffs. Cam Newton, this is his first playoff appearance in the NFL. This is only his 3rd, 4th season in the NFL. But I haven't missed the playoffs this year, going 8-8. It's because they lost one of the best. I really forgot his name, but don't worry. One of their best wide receivers who went to Baltimore.
Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson. Yes, thank you very much for that. Steve Johnson. They lost their best wide receiver, Steve Johnson. Because that was pretty much Cam Newton's main target last season, Steve Johnson. You lose him, it's really going to change things on their offense because I have no idea who Cam Newton's going to throw to this season. I mean, Steve Johnson was one of the best receivers. You lose him, and Steve Johnson said on the radio after he got traded, or after he signed with the Baltimore Ravens, he was really angry because he never wanted to leave Carolina, and he's going to be really angry when they play Carolina this season. And I believe the game was in Baltimore. He's going to be really emotional. He's going to be really feisty when he comes out. He's going to try to get that game against Carolina because he knew he didn't want to get traded because he would have got paid more money in Carolina than he did when he was signed to Baltimore.
So you still have Carolina making the playoffs, though?
No, you don't miss the playoffs. They'll be second. They'll finish 8-8 in the division, and they'll miss the playoffs.
See, I'm not gonna describe why, but I'm just questioning why neither of you guys have Tampa Bay at number 4. That's my opinion, but I would put Tampa Bay at number 4.
And Tampa Bay last year, the beginning of the season last year, Josh Freeman did get the job done when they needed to get the job done. They started off 0-4 last yeir. And after that game, after they lost in New England last year, 23-3, that's when the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I forgot his name, that's when he benched Josh Freeman and brought in the rookie quarterback, which was his first year. And he did a fantastic job of getting that team some W's because Josh Freeman was going to get the job done. And after that, that's when they released him, and that's when he went to the Giants and he got released. I just don't think Josh Freeman. I think he needs to do a lot more in the offseason. I think he needs to get stronger. He needs to work on his aiming, on his throwing, and he'll be back. And he really needs to get in top shape because he's thrown a lot of interceptions this past season.
All right. Do you have anything else to say? Or?
No.
Okay. So in my opinion, we have the best conference here, which is the NFC West, best division, I should say. Which we have San Francisco, Seattle, Arizona, and St. Louis, which are four pretty good futures there. So we're gonna start with Keaton. Who do you have there?
All right. This is my surprise pick in this division. I have San Francisco at number 1, going 14-2. I have Seattle, second division, going 12-4. Number 3 division, I have Arizona Cardinals going 9-7, and then St. Louis in the fourth, dead last division, going 6-10.
But do you get the feeling that Arizona is a better team than everyone gives them, but just because they have a tough division, that's why the record's not good enough?
Well, I mean, Arizona, listen, they have a good quarterback in Carson Palmer. They have a good punt returner in Patrick Peterson, and they have a good wide receiver in Larry Fitzgerald. The problem with them is the road record. I think the road record needs to be improved. I think that's the main reason why they can't slip in the playoffs. I mean, last year they went 10-6 and still missed the playoffs because of the road play. They were really good at home. I mean, this past year, I feel like they should have been in the playoffs this year. I mean, there's no way why you go 10-6, and they really improved the record the past year. I don't see. I mean, Arizona, they have a great future ahead of them. There's no way they're going in the right direction, even though they've been missing the playoffs. They've been over 500 this past 2 years, and they just can't get to the playoffs because all the other teams are ahead of them in the conference and all that. And I think Arizona, I think I have them where they need to be this year. They're in the division 9-7, and they're going to take a step back this year. But I think in next offseason they'll pick up some really good players, and hopefully they'll draft another quarterback behind Carson Palmer and make them a better team.
So tell me why you have the defending champions, Super Bowl champions, at number 2, and you have San Francisco leapfrogging them to the number 1 position.
The reason why is because last year I watched the NFC Championship game. San Francisco was up pretty much the entire game until they got to the fourth quarter. You know, they let Russell Wilson, they let him pass, they let Richard Sherman get going. I mean, they couldn't stop Russell Wilson at the end of the game. And I feel like San Francisco could have won that game because they had their chances. I mean, they were up pretty much most of the game. I think they did a great job of keeping them out of the game in the first half. But once they got to the second half, Seattle started to turn things around really quickly. San Francisco, they got Carlos Hyde in the regular season, in the offseason from Ohio State. Okay, they got Blaine Gabbert, the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback from last year. They got Blaine Gabbert as their backup behind Colin Kaepernick, and they got Raw Bowman, who tore his ACL last year in that championship game. He'll be back this year. No worries. It's going to take about 6 to 9 months to recover from that ACL injury. But I just think San Francisco is loaded. And Seattle lost some players. They lost Brandon Brown on their defense, who's a huge part of the defense, and they lost Golden Tate, who went to the Detroit Lions for a 5-year deal. I just think Seattle, it's going to be hard for them to win 2 straight Super Bowls. And I have a lot of respect for Sherman. I have a lot of respect for the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not disrespecting them at all. But San Francisco is ready. They're hungry. They're ready to take that next step. They're ready to go make it to the Super Bowl when they want championships. That's why Colin Kaepernick signed. That's why he signed that 6-year extension, because he knows it's time for him to win the Super Bowl, and he needs to get it done this year.
So I have one more question about last year about the NFC Championship game. Do you have a problem with Richard Sherman's post-game interview with Aaron Rodgers, with the way?
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He wants to win also. He wants to win championships also. He's competitive. But at the end of that game, I feel like, it wasn't the right play of Michael Crabtree, pushing him at the end, because Richard Sherman knew it was over. All he wanted was to shake the team. I don't think Michael Crabtree did the right thing. I think what Rich Sherman did was okay because Michael Crabtree, he started it. He pushed him out the way. He could have just gave him a little pat on the back and just moved on, and he probably wouldn't have made those post-game comments at the end.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, that's just both players are competitive. They want championships. That's all there is.
So Matthew, you've been quiet. Now here is your turn to talk. NFC West predictions.
I have number 1 San Francisco 49ers at 13-3, 2 Seattle Seahawks 11-5, 3 St. Louis Rams 6-10, 4 Arizona Cardinals 5-11. And the reason why I put San Francisco 49ers on top is because Colin Kaepernick, he is basically ready to show everybody that he is the man. He should be the MVP for the next Super Bowl because he has the skill. And for the Seahawks at number 2, they lost a few players from free agency. Like one of their linemen went to Cleveland, so they lost a few linemen, a few people from defense or offense, and they were losing people that they had during the Super Bowl. So they might not be as good as they were during the Super Bowl because they lost some of their key players to injuries or to free agency.
Okay, and you guys have both, I want you to discuss why you flip-flopped the 3 and 4 position from him. So why do you have Arizona at 4 and St. Louis at 3?
Well, because St. Louis, I think their quarterback situation is better, and they might be a little bit better at throwing the ball more and be able, because they probably have a better line than they did last year, so they probably have more people to defend the quarterback and the running back. So in Arizona, they lost a key linebacker to Cleveland, so they don't have a good player from Arizona. So they don't have
Argument?
I have Arizona at number 3, and the reason why I'm at number 3 is because they have better talent than St. Louis right now. I mean, they have Patrick Peterson, probably one of the best punt returners in the NFL. They have a better quarterback in Carson Palmer, who I think is better than Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford tore his ACL and MCL last year in Carolina. St. Louis, I like St. Louis. I mean, they have a great future ahead of them. I mean, they drafted Michael Sam, the 250th pick in the 2014 NFL draft. But Michael Sam's got a lot of work to do. He's got to get in shape. He's got to get faster. He's got to get stronger in the weight room. But he has a great future in the NFL. I think he'll be a star in the next maybe 3 or 4 years. I think it's going to take him a while to learn what the NFL is all about the plays, about the locker room, about the outside of football. I mean, he's got to learn how to deal with the media. He's got a lot of things to deal with.
So, do you think him being openly gay to the NFL, do you think that helped him or hurt him? Do you think if he didn't, do you think he would want attention attracted to him, or do you want it away from him?
That's a good question. I think it kind of hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but he's honest about himself. That's just who he is. I mean, there's a lot of gay players out there right now who are gay. I mean, that's just. I mean, people can make fun. People can laugh at them. People can take it seriously. People can can learn from it. I mean, I think he's right with where he was in the draft. I just don't think he would have been nowhere near maybe the top, even my top 10 or top 20. I think he's right of where he is right now because of his that's just his personality. That's just who he is.
So, do you have any arguments?
No.
You don't? Okay. You don't have any?
Nope.
Okay, so that'll end our NFC segment. We have done the East, North, South, and West. Now we'll move on to the AFC, which if you guys haven't seen enough arguments yet, there will definitely be a lot of arguments moving on to the AFC with my man Matthew's Cleveland Browns and my man Keaton's New England Patriots. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of battles between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. There's a lot of flip-flops there. So tune in to our next show, the AFC show. Thanks for watching, guys.